Hello and welcome. If you're looking for a great dog trainer to help you and your pup really enjoy life here in Lakewood, Washington, you've come to the right place. Let's get right to it.
So, here's what we'll be covering. We're going to talk about why training is so helpful, specifically for life here in Lakewood, and then what to look for in a real professional. From there, we'll get into the different training formats and what they typically cost, touch on some key local dog laws, and wrap up with the essential questions you'll want to ask any trainer you're considering.
First things first, let's talk about training for life right here in our community. You know, this is about more than just sit and stay. It's really about getting your dog ready for all the places we love to go.
Think about it. Good training means your dog can walk calmly past all the activity near the JBLM gates. It means you can have a relaxing, fun, and safe visit to the off-leash area at Fort Steilacoom Park. It's really all about making every trip out of the house less stressful and way more fun for both of you.
Okay, so we know why we want to train. The big question is, who do we train with? Let's take a look at what separates a true professional from someone who just likes dogs.
Well, the number one thing you'll probably want to look for is a philosophy called positive reinforcement. The idea is pretty simple, but it's so powerful. You just reward your dog for doing the right thing, whether it's with a treat, some happy praise, or their favorite toy. It's widely seen as the best way to train because it's effective and really helps build a great, trusting relationship with your dog.
But how do you know if a trainer really knows their stuff? Well, you can look for credentials. These letters actually mean something. They show that a trainer has passed some tough exams and has to keep up with the latest science. For example, CPDTKA is a really solid certification to see. And if you're dealing with more serious issues, something like an IABC CDBC shows they have specialized expertise.
All right, let's get into the practical side of things, like the different training options and, of course, the costs. Here's a look at what you can generally expect to budget for dog training right here in the Lakewood area.
For the most part, you're looking at two main options. On one hand, you have group classes. These are fantastic for socializing your dog and helping them learn to listen even with other dogs around. On the other hand, private training gives you that one-on-one attention to really focus on specific issues you might be having at home, like jumping on guests or barking at the mail carrier. Now, looking at the costs here in Pierce County, you can see how it breaks down. A typical 6-week puppy class might run you a couple $100s. If you need more targeted help, a single private lesson is usually in that $90 to $150 range. And then you see that big number for board and train programs. That's a much more intensive, immersive option for tougher behavior cases or for owners with really tight schedules.
You know, having a well-trained dog goes hand in hand with being a responsible dog owner. And that means knowing a few of the simple, local rules of the road.
This one is a biggie. The most important rule to know in Pierce County, and that includes us here in Lakewood, is about your leash. When you're off your property, your dog has to be on a leash that is no longer than 8 feet. The only exception is if you're in a designated off-leash park.
So, besides that leash law, the main things to keep in mind are that Washington state law requires a current rabies vaccination, and that little tag has to be on your dog's collar. One nice thing is that Pierce County doesn't have a separate general dog license requirement, and it's also good to know that excessive barking can be considered a noise issue, which is just one more reason why training is so helpful.
Okay, so you know about training methods, you've got an idea of the costs, and you know the local laws. Now you're ready to actually talk to some trainers. Let's put together a little checklist for you.
Think of this as your guide for that first conversation. Ask about their philosophy and their credentials. Ask how they'll tailor a plan specifically for your dog and your lifestyle here. And definitely make sure you're clear on all the fees. But maybe the most important question is the last one. How will they teach you to keep up the training? Because a great trainer coaches the person just as much as they coach the dog.
Once you get started with training, you'll need to practice those skills in the real world. Luckily, we've got some amazing spots for that right nearby. Fort Steilacoom has a huge fenced dog park that's perfect for safely working on recall. The Chambers Bay Loop Trail is great for practicing leash manners around joggers and other people. And Titlow Park is fantastic for getting your dog used to different sounds and surfaces with its trails and beach.
And really, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Building a stronger connection with your dog so you can both enjoy everything Lakewood has to offer. Finding the right trainer is the very first step on that path.
We wish you the absolute best in your search. Having that well-trained companion by your side really changes everything. It makes every walk around the neighborhood, every time you have friends over, and every trip to the park a much more positive and happy experience for absolutely everyone.